It's going to be how many cars they pass to get to where they finish.
He's on the front row. Is that 27?
No, it's D3.
D3 out of Natchitoches, Louisiana. That'll be David Edwards in the ERC chassis. Edwards making his second start at Boothill this season. Shannon Parker along the outside of the 18, inside of row number 2, the Styles Automotive. Number 96 from Keithville of Michael Knighton, the former Quick Race Car Spring Nationals winner. And here comes Ronald Pilkington out of Marshall, Texas. And the Rollo's Lubinato Rick Sis Performance number 22. Here comes Rollo. Rollo's won several factory stock races, some big paying factory stock races here at Boothill in his career. Also won here in limited modifieds and open wheel modifieds and street stocks back in the 90s. Rollo knows his way around this quarter-mile oval and also knew his way around the 3/8 mile paperclip before it was shortened back in 2010. Michael Knighton trying to live up to his moniker here just a few days before Halloween. The Nightmare going to pull it to the back of the 22 down the back straightaway at the midpoint. Into turn number 3. The Nightmare trying to shake off the nightmares and all the bad luck dreams he's had that have become reality. Oh, and some contact down the front straightaway with Shannon Parker to the 18. Parker still holds on to the third spot. 96 and Knighton fourth. Cowboy Richard Blanchard, the runner-up here. The full throttle Marcus Cottrell in the inaugural 10,000 win King of Boothill 3 years ago. Cowboy Blanchard from Gashana, Louisiana, once again back in the 5th spot. As your top 4 right now, kind of all nose to tail, every behind them, it's a logjam. Blanchard in the 45. Blanchard in the 45 did, in fact, come all the way from an E main to the D main to the C main to the B main to the A main to come home 4th in last weekend's 13th annual Cajun Classic at Gene Borders Arclotech Speedway in Vivian. A stellar performance playing the alphabet soup game for Blanchard. So it'll all be 2 laps to go, shown from your flagman, Keith Parker. Keith Parker back in the hub, or back in the perch. As James Griffin, owner and builder of Bootlegger Race Cars, is up there as the judge, jury, and executioner of the last race. And off of 4, the first white flag waved in front of the face of the D3 from Natchitoches. Sponsoring by Alan Crawfish. Edwards Power, AMS Power underneath the hood of the D3. With a sizable advantage. Has never won here in his career, and it may be this weekend for the Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship. Heat race number 1 winner going to go to D3 of David Edwards. Rollo Pilkington will take the Rollo's Lubinato Rick Sis Performance number 22 Hennigan chassis to 2nd. Good run for Shannon Parker to 3rd of the inside of row number 2. It'll be the Whataburger. Number 47 of JoJo Wilhelm out of Kilgore, Texas. Makes... Whoa. That glare gets mad up here sometimes, though. For real. This thing, I gotta... Maybe... Y'all mind if I bring these down some? That one light's like really getting me bad right here. There's 3 wide for the race lead off the exit of turn number 2. Scott Young pushed way up top of the exit of corner number 2. Looked like me in practice last night. And that's not a shot at Scott. I look pretty dang good. JoJo Wilhelm, though, going to take advantage of the error and costly mistake for the 18 wide. Kind of bottled the field up there. And he shoots her directly to the race lead. And that Tidwell Motorsports Whataburger, number 47X. JoJo Wilhelm. Well, he kind of got back into this sport after fielding a limited modified. And Keith Tidwell put him behind the wheel of an IRP chassis and won the stocking stuff for 25 over at Sam and Lisa Haverty's Lone Star Speedway two Decembers ago now. But has raced sparingly since that time. But you know when JoJo comes, he brings all aces. Holding on to 2nd, the driver I caught up with and talked with just a little bit before race time tonight at Keithville, a main event winner here this season after taking 3 years off from racing. Keithville's Ryan Burke. The Burks just get it honest. Brother been promoting this place all year long, doing a fine job with Tim and Danielle. And, of course, Ricky Burke Jr., a 3-time Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship winner, of course, promoting this track. Came all the way up to 3rd at the Cajun Classic last Saturday night in Vivian. Back in 3rd is Travis Bowden in one of James Griffin's bootlegger-built chassis race cars out of Karnak, Texas. RaceOnTexas.com, maybe breakout driver of the year. Scott Young still back in the 4th spot, a bobble there off of turn number 4. It'll be 2 laps to go into turn number 1, shown by Keith Parker once again. JoJo Wilhelm has done a lot like your heat race number 1 winner of David Edwards and thrown the keys on the counter, and he's checking out of the competition. Off of 4, the white flag coming from Keith Parker of the 47X. The driver of the RKT operating Whataburger JJ Motorsports Laser Race Car chassis number 47. Ryan Burke looking very strong and healthy tonight, but not enough to muster up the momentum to catch that number 47. One of the better looking factory stock cars we've probably seen all year. A face full of checkered flag goes to JoJo Wilhelm in 47X. Ryan Burke takes the legendary 34 JR to a 2nd spot finish. And running out of the top 3 out of Karnak, Texas, the 11 is Travis Bauer.
Okay, so 27G, then C3, then 30.
Is that Tracy Baker? Tracy Baker, I do believe, in the 22B. Wow, that was a pretty wild start. I believe that's Travis Borderline out front there. Oh boy, you got nearly a 3-wide battle here. Off the exit of 2, headed down the back straightaway. Frank the Tank Canizero up in front of that battle taking place. As right now the 22B is checking out of the competition. BJ Cook, the C1 of the Canet Solutions sponsored entry of Chris Shaw. And the 30 of Billy Joe Bruchin. The Texan and a pair of Cajuns going at it. Off of 4, down the front boulevard, the white flag shown from flagman Keith Parker. They're still trying to fit it out there and go 3 wide. The 30 of Billy Joe Bruchin, so tough, right through the center part of the racetrack. He's got some dig. Billy Joe, of course, built that chassis out of his own shop there in East Texas. As this time by, final time, a tail kicking. And Heat 3, the 23B of Travis Bordelon. Frank Canizero with a solid performance the second. Missile Derek Grigsby at driving Joel Ball's entry out of Farmerville, Louisiana, won $7 grand in this car back in July. Inside of 2 from Gilmer, Texas, it's Scotty Thrifty Nichols. TJ Evans with 11 wins on the year and the Rose Bowl Speedway track champion in 215. I believe in the only IRP chassis built in the factory stock ranks here this weekend by Jason Eagles. Down the back straightaway, it's going to be the Marshall Missile shooting into the race lead into turn number 3 and off of 4. So Grigsby's going to lead lap number 1. Maybe back here with a little bit of a vengeance, if you will, after what happened at the Arclotech Speedway last weekend, racing in the 13th annual Cajun Classic. Bad luck in the first heat for Grigsby. Second round, won it after a stellar battle with Justin Whitehead, and was coming along strong through one of those C mains. We're getting tied up in a skirmish on the racetrack, kind of out of his doing. We got one around in the middle of 1 and 2, but no harm, no foul. We stay clean and green for the time being. The best battle right now, the center point of 3 and 4. It's the 4 car around the hub of Doug Vick Jr. Doug Vick Jr., your Pro Mod champion here at Boothill in 2017, as well as your factory stock track champion as well. This driver has a knack for finding consistency around these local dirt tracks and has for years. Coming into last weekend, he and Justin Whitehead were the only 2 factory stock drivers in the 12 previous runnings of the Cajun Classic to make the A-Main 10 times in their career. They made it 11 times and actually started on the front row together. So it was interesting last weekend that the 2 most consistent drivers in that particular factory stock event started on the front row. Of course, Whitehead went on to get his 7th title. Vick Jr.'s won here 3 times here this season and 5 a year ago. Still has his hands full with Scotty Nichols down the back straightaway. Still out front, seeing 2 to go. It's the Marshall Missile, Derek Grigsby, doing double duty this weekend, trying to do what he did here back in July at the 3rd annual King of the Hill. Seeing Grigsby driving that Team 91 Motorsports chassis car. It was formerly driven by Steak Sauce Heath Wilson out of West Monroe. Joel Ball acquired that car from him, put Grigsby behind the wheel of it, like I said, back in July, and Grigsby defied all odds, faced adversity, and found his way to Victor Lane and swept both divisions, got $8,000 total for his efforts. He'll hope to at least get half of that this weekend if all goes to plan. As $2,000 on the line for the factory stocks and $2,000 for the limiteds. Derek Grigsby wins heat race number 4 tonight here at Boot Hill. Cody Myers will snag 2nd in 55. A good run there for TJ Evans, getting himself some passing points. Relayed the 22B to notify you folks was disqualified from the previous heat race. Not sure for what. As Bo Perry from Bossier City, Louisiana, after a stellar performance last weekend in Vivian, was up to 2nd and stalked Justin Whitehead's tire tracks in the main event and thrashed hard all week long to get a motor at a power plant as they go 3 wide down the back straightaway. Oh my. Ricky Ingalls around the hub. Justin Whitehead. How about this? The 2 drivers that were 1 and 2 last weekend in the first about 7 laps of the Cajun Classic. Bo Perry had a standout weekend. Bo Perry, a winner here this year. Drove all the way up from 20th to 2nd in a race in which Whitehead won in Vivian back in June, but ended up having Whitehead within his crosshairs towards the end of the race, and he's not letting him quite get away here as Whitehead is driving James Thompson's Mod Mafia number 85 this weekend. So if you're wondering why Justin Whitehead, the 7-time Cajun Classic winner, is not behind the wheel of his familiar 36J, well, James Thompson out of Mod, Texas, fields the Outlaw Chassis house car. Of course, Justin drove for James' daughter, Sammy, for several years. Kind of a family racing deal there out of East Texas. Justin's won many races in that car. Matter of fact, Whitehead opened up the season driving this car and winning the SmackDown at 85 Speedway, won $2,500 for his efforts, but donated every single penny to the Parker Lee Project. Bo Perry dropping a new power plant, like I said, underneath the hood of that 24 this week, and it's looking to, it appears to be working to expectation to this point. Still, though, just not quite enough for the 85 of Justin Whitehead from Hooks. Justin Whitehead keeps up at this rate, he might end up with as many wins as Gary Whitehead. I only say that because they come from the same hometown. Whitehead will look for his 142nd win since 2012, since the start of 2012, if he can win his 4th Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship here this weekend. But here comes Uncle Ricky Ingalls. The former Southern United Professional Racing Series late model champion, knows his way around the Boothill Speedway. Is tied for one of the longest winning streaks on that tour with 5 in a row. Will end up finishing 3rd there to Bo Perry. A close race at the line. Perry will grab 2nd in 24. And your winner, you know who he is. The 7-time Cajun Classic winner, Justin Whitehead. On the pole is Rance. He'll make you dance. It's Rance Prince out of Sibley, the son of Jody. It is. Wow. No, it's my bad. I just totally. It's Jody Prince Jody Prince is behind the wheel of the 11R. Speaking of former late model drivers who have won a super race here at Boothill in his career, Jody Prince, and here comes Lopez. Princeton's Paul Lopez just drove that thing deep into the corner and way up the hill. It's 10K of Tracy Corp, it looks like. John Parker. We're down in central Louisiana around Manny, and this number 9 machine rolling and looking well tonight. John Parker wants to park in Victory Lane, and he's looking pretty good right now. Down the back straightaway, here comes Dino, the 1995 Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship winner in a hot stock. Rasco around the hub of the racetrack, smashes the loud pedal, and noses ahead at the line over the 10 of Corp. Still, your top 2 cars here are very, very close-knit here in the turn number 3. The 9, I'm telling you, really rolling around the Boothill Speedway right now. This John Parker trying to show Jody Prince the fast lane, but not been the case yet. Or maybe just Jody Prince has given him the fast lane, but nonetheless, if Prince makes a little bit more than sizable mistake, he'll be there to capitalize.
Thank you.
Will be on the pole. The 17 machine of Logan Griffin from Farmerville, Louisiana. Landon Hazel in the white number 17 behind him. In the 6T, it's Tiffany Welch. Tiffany Welch out of Shreveport, Louisiana, the former promoter here at Boot Hill back in 2013. Logan Griffin got to come across the stride. He'll lead over Chris Franks. 36 loops it back here. Kaislyn Nelson, the young lady. Kaislyn Nelson's going to be somebody to watch in this sport in the future. Not having quite the start that she wanted here in her 4-cylinder career at Boot Hill. To my knowledge, this is this young lady's. Griffin going to lead the mellow yellow look-alike L17 off of turn number 4 with the race lead. Then we got the M&M's 1HC of Black Cat Chris Franks. A versatile driver, races factory stocks and other divisions. Even done some open wheel modified racing in his career. And here comes Black Cat down to the bottom of the hull of the racetrack to the inside for the race lead, but Logan Griffin's had enough. He'll separate himself by about 2 car lengths. He heads off into turn number 1 as we resume action here in 4-cylinder heat race number 1 of the night. Two distinct lines here, but that middle groove is just working, and a lot of momentum for the 17. Got a pretty good 4-cylinder first heat race of the night brewing here with Black Cat Chris Franks out of Texarkana And the Farmerville, Louisiana young driver, the 12-year-old Logan Griffin out front. They have one more quarter-mile trip around the Boothill Speedway to settle the score. And they're going to have to go through lap traffic of Casey Nelson. And lap traffic will pay dividends. Off of 2 down the back straight. It's a nearly a dead heat into turn number 3. Nosing ahead by about a half a car length is the M&M's green 18 of Franks. But that outside line going to pay off for the 12-year-old. He'll get the win. You got to love seeing that young man fired up inside of the cockpit of that car. Let's turn them loose once again in heat number 2 for the 4 cylinders. It's Cornbread, Bill Teague. Wow, I sound like I have a mouthful of cornbread here, but the Hot Pockets are just as delicious. Your 2017 4-cylinder track champion, Chris Collier, is trying to hunt down and steal Bill's cornbread. Bill Teague says, I already gave you my lunch money. What more do you want from me? It'll be 4 in and 4 to go. Bill Teague looking pretty good in that 88, smooth as silk out front. And a car obviously looks a lot like and identical to Michelle Davis's that was on the pole of the previous 4-cylinder heat. I believe this car a Honda Accord, maybe a Prelude, kind of hard to tell from that vantage point. Either way, by the same manufacturer anyway. The white flag waves this time by for Ivan, Louisiana's Bill Cornbread Teague, who has wins in factory stocks and pro miles in his career. But Bill just now getting back and getting his feet wet in this sport and just trying to have some fun again. It's great to have Cornbread back at the dirt tracks on a Saturday night or even a Friday night. And they'll take the heat race win here on this Friday night special for the 45th running of the Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship in heat race number 2. Over the track champion winner here in 2017 for this division, Chris Collier. Well, in 22 mag, firing all bullets, no blanks all season long. Boone Evans inside of row number 2 in the 4. The Marshall Missile outside of 2 in the 69. Outside front row is Cliff Tupper. Keith Tidwell back behind the wheel of that number RTT operating 18 machine. And down the back straightaway, here comes Tupper, the 2015 Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship winner. Boy, the car kind of nearly stepped out from underneath him there, but a good drive there. The center of the corner of 3 and off of turn number 4. Here comes the Marshall Missile. Derek Grigsby going to drive to the inside. Obviously down the back straightaway, Derek Grigsby trying to win a Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship again in his career. Has won this race 4 times in his career between street stocks and limited modifieds. Also won it here in a factory stock back in 2010. As he heads down the back straightaway, sitting in the 3rd spot over Evans in the 4 and Tidwell in 18 in 5th. But your leader still across the stripe, driving that superior graphics, Ingles Racing Performance, power to spare, PTS power plants built by John McLemore out of Minden, Louisiana, underneath the hood of that 22 mag machine. And boy, he is firing cannons tonight. No bullets. The 22 Magnum's fired cannons. Dylan Spear looking good. Dylan Spear was my judge, jury, and executioner last night as I was hot lapping a factory stock. He got a good kick out of me out there, and that's what he said. And I said, well, I'll get the last laugh tomorrow. But right now, he's getting the last laugh on everybody. He's gone with the win. 22 Mag is looking very, very good here, and obviously looking to defend his home turf and put an exclamation point on the 2017 season. Nothing quite like winning the track championship and rolling out of here with the Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship title and taking that back to Marshall, Texas. There's some other Texans and some other competitors that also hail out of the same hometown of Marshall. They would like to do the same exact thing. Meanwhile, you got the Louisiana native Cliff Tupper Jr. fending off a hard challenge from the Marshall missile Derek Grigsby. Cliff Tupper Jr., of course, won this event 2 years ago, and that's a hell of a battle going on for second. Excuse the language there. It's HE double hockey sticks. As Grigsby tries it again to the inside, side by side off the exit corner number 4. They're going to drag race to the line. Tupper's going to hold off Grigsby by half of a cat's whisker. In a great battle. And along the outside, it's the Furville Freight Train, Brandon Ball and B-17. A pair of IRP chassis on the front row in this one. Inside of row number 2 is Danny Roy, Jeff Roy. Aaron Green in 87. Got himself a new look on that machine. Aaron Green now on about his 8th career start behind the wheel of that IRP chassis, limited mod. That young man was as hot could be as the battle for second is heating up, or for the top spot rather. Brandon Ball is a fun driver to watch. There's no doubt about it. At times when you think there just may not be anything there, the real estate you think one driver may not take, the B-17 is going to take it, and a lot of times he makes it pay dividends. Right now, he'll continue to stalk the tire tracks of the Red Lick Texan, Aaron Roy for the race lead. Alva forward, down the front straightaway, Keith Parker looks him over. As we continue on here in Greenwood, Louisiana, one little mistake will be the difference. Brandon Ball very good at capitalizing on a driver's mistake. You got to be up on your toes. And there goes a mistake for Ball himself. Ball jumps the cushion and allows the 35 of Roy to separate himself by about 3 car lengths as they head off into 1. The driver really coming is the 19-year-old out of Genoa, Arkansas, Aaron Green. Mean Green Aaron Green is rolled to 3rd, and he's rolling good and he's rolling well right now. But Ball has caught once again the tail tank of the 35 of Roy for the race lead. Brandon Ball looking to snap a several-year winless drought here at Boothill. Going to go to the inside for the race lead. It'll be 2 trips around, 2 quarter-mile trips, and Ball likes the hub that time. He gets back on the lap pedal, the foot's through the firewall, down the back straightaway, but Aaron Roy going to power it into turn number 3. That homegrown power built out of his shop by his dad out of Red Lick, Texas. Not going to be enough with the white flag waving. Brandon Ball going to take over the race lead that time. Bob with that best engine power underneath the hood built by Chuck Priestley. Ball now with a car length advantage, but Roy may not be done yet. Into 3 and off of 4 for the final time. Drag race at the line. The Furville Freight Train steals 1 and gets the job done. B-17 on the tracks tonight. May be tough to derail him. James Guyton started on the pole, and boy, it was a wild start there. The Eagles got a little cattywampus there at the midpoint of the front straightaway. Let's go 3 wide for the race lead. Why not? They're still 3 wide for the top spot. They're 3 by 1. Into turn number 3, still 3 wide on the opening lap of limited modified heat race number 2. Way up top where Grandpa keeps the good bourbon. The IRP number 23 of Cody Tupper, the 2015 Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship winner in a factory stock. They're 2 by 2 by 1. Here comes Ricky Ingalls, the Longview Texan. Ricky Ingalls told me it didn't make a difference. He loved the old 3/8 mile boot hill and he likes the quarter mile. And right now you see why, as he takes over the top spot, disposing of the number 23 at Tupper and the K1 from Marksville, Louisiana. Stephen Guidry will go by. Stephen Guidry scored a very, very big win here the night we had an unsanctioned late model event, as he won the limited modified main event. He said it meant a lot to him that night to have Ronnie Adams in the pit area. Of course, when he lost his father, John Guidry, Ronnie Adams became a father figure to that young man. He has a great deal of respect for him, obviously, and has learned a lot from him in his racing career as they go door for the race lead into 1 and 2. Ingalls and Guidry side by side. And the Cajun out of Marksville got a nose ahead by about a half a car length, or about a half a nose rather. Into 3 and off of 4, Guidry and K1 are going to lead. Of course, Stephen Guidry for the first part of his racing career, sported the number 10 alongside his entry. But in 2017, puts K1, and to none other, send a great tribute to his father, the late great John Guidry, who raced Super Dirt late models in K1. And boy, has Steven done a fine job in 2017 with that K1 alongside. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago when Guidry got his third win here this year, how much he would love to close out the year with the Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship, knowing how much these events and this particular race meant to so many drivers as he was a kid growing up here. And it'll be up to him to roll off a 4 with the race lead to receive the checkered flag from Marksville, Louisiana. Steven Guidry gets the job done in the Express chassis number K1. Second goes to Ricky Ingles from Longview in the RKT operating IRP chassis number 80. Thanks. Pro Mod Heat Race number 1 on the pole. The General Giant Jason Beasley from Vivian, Louisiana, going to set the pace with Mark Barnes along the outside. The lights go out. Oh, look out. That's not good. Test out your inner fan hood. Test out your friends who say they're race fans. Get them out here to the racetrack and have us a little cold, brisk night at the dirt track for the final race of 2017 here for the 45th running of the Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship. So we're backing away into one. It'll be Trent Humphrey with the race lead over the 16 of the General Giant Jason Beasley. 2 cars left. So if you didn't answer the bell from the original start, and it'll be up to these two to settle the score in a 2-horse race. Only 2 cars to settle the score, but they're making it interesting.
I missed that lap.
See how cold it is now.
Here comes Trent Humphrey. Boy, Trent Humphrey just hit the boost down the back straightaway. It drifted way up top there. And a still great battle taking shape here in the 1 and 2. They're still side by side. It doesn't matter. A 2-car tango will take it. And a bobble for Beasley. The white flag will be coming out this time by for the 515 of Trent Humphrey. Rolling off of turn number 4, Trent Humphrey receives the white. Well, Jason Beasley said it was fun while it lasted. Trent Humphrey says, I'll take it. Humphrey gets the dub. Something may have went foul on Jason's car there to tell. Obviously was involved in that early race skirmish. Just didn't look. Who was that last night? I think it was Joel Cuvion said, it's deer season, man. I'm not sure how it's going. I said, man, that's for deer hunters, though. You know, we're racers. Here we go. We're back underway. Robert Graham already on the move in that number 22. Gonna go to the outside, took that spot away from the 27 of Washburn to go to second. So Graham goes to second over Washburn, the 4 of Bechet rolling. Jeffrey Bechet has been selective when he's raced this season. And right now, wow, you just see the way that car is kind of stuck and glued around the bottom of the track, the way it's just able to rotate the corner. I don't think any car is as stable as that 4 car is right now. And if it stays that way all weekend long, bad luck for the rest of the company and competitors. As it's digging. Seems like he's got a pair of Monroe pigtails. Great battle for second, shaping up in the turn number 3. It'll be Mike Washburn in 27. To the inside of the Marshall, Texan Robert Graham. And he's got it. He'll take that spot by Carlick at the flag stand in the turn number 1. Now lap traffic going to be approaching in the form of the 17. And here comes Robert Graham trying to smash the loud pedal, and Mike slams the door shut in front of his face. He says, "Get out of my house." Oh! And maybe he gave him a shot in the shorts. Well, you can beat on my back door all you want, Mike says, but I'm not going to let you in this McDonald's. 2 to go for Jeffrey Bechet out of Sorrento. I tell you what, Mike's coming now. Like, I mean, really, really fast. Yeah, he pushed up big that time in the 1 and 2. So Mike hit his turns perfectly to the end of that race. I think he'd have had a chance to steal it. Not over yet, though. White flag waves for Jeffrey Bechet. Jeffrey Bechet for the final time in the turns 1 and 2. Mike Washburn just able to drive that 27 so much deeper into the corner. Final time, now Jeffrey Bechet wins heat race number 2 for the Pro Mods.
Run the wedges up and get it, right?
So Josh Bockham won most recently 3 weeks ago at Arklatex. He's on the outside pole here. And Wayne Barnes on the front row. X alongside. Now he's X98. Good to see John Locke back. It's guys like him that make the dirt track world go around. So a pair of Northwest Louisiana racers residing out of Benton, Louisiana lead this one 1 and 2. Both have spent many dirt track Saturday nights in their careers over at the old Champion Park, and Wayne Barnes at the old Bayou Speedway, a former champion there. Wayne Barnes, of course, his brother Mark made their hay in the hot stock or street stock division between Bayou and Champion Park or Webster Speedway for many, many years on Saturday nights. And Josh Bockham, you could say the same. A Webster Parish phenom. Of course, his stepfather, he's a former 1989 street stock champ here at Boothill, but also Cliff Williams won driving Josh's limited mod in the North Louisiana State Championship event at Champion Park in 2011, the final race they held there. Josh Bockham's a multi-town track champ over at the old oval that no longer exists, but he's done it everywhere. He's won races here. He's won them in Chatham, Manny, you name it. He can get the job done. Now a proud father and husband, Josh Bockham, now a veteran racer in this sport. So the young driver in his mid-20s and 25 leads him across the stripe for the final trip around the Greenwood Oval. Been owned and been operating since 1973 when it was originally built by Doyle Wise. Now off of 4 for the final time for Benton, Louisiana. It's the Benton Bullet, Josh Bockham, your Pro Mod Heat Race number 2 winner. Or 3 winner over the 160 of Benton's Wayne Barnes. John Locke will come across. Ashton Nichols, the son of Scotty.
Ricky's gonna think I'm 6 getting this one.
Do I have names on these wedges that we do have?
Oh, that's Dustin Hennigan. Okay. So, good deal. The 4th generation Hennigan racer.
I don't think you can hear me on this one.
Dustin Hennigan out of Marshall, Texas. Leads the way. May see his father here. Of course, Winnigan, Chris Hennigan tomorrow night. for 1,000 win for the open wheel modifieds. Chris, like I talked about earlier, coming off a second place finish in that Outlaw Chassis station wagon and the Cajun Classic. Justin Hennigan putting on a clinic in this one, but Ashton Nichols, still young. He hasn't raced very many times in his young career. Young man did finish up on the podium at the Timberlawn Speedway earlier this year. He's learning how to sling it and back it off into the corner. Well, oh, he said he puts a Cyrus suit on one leg at a time, but if anybody got the same bloodline or the same genes as their father was blessed with, or, well, their whole bloodline, he is definitely a Hennigan, isn't he? Dustin Hennigan doing what the Hennigans do.
He's out.
Regardless of style, size of the track, if it has four wheels, this youngster can get it done. He has been seemingly the one to beat at all the area racetracks in these mini wedge karts. When we first debuted him earlier this season, the white flag waves for the young Marshall Texan, Dustin Hennigan. One of my favorite parts is to see Chris and Heather get so excited about it. Let's give my hand.
There's like 5 people here.
I don't really know what Ricky has planned, so I don't want to go down here and do an interview if it holds up the next race about to roll on, but nice fire suit. Justin, I didn't know if we were going to talk tonight, man. I didn't know if they were going to roll that next heat on, and for, I guess, everybody's safety. Hey, Boothill, give it up for the fourth-generation Hennigan racer. It's Dustin Hennigan out of Marshall, Texas. Dustin, you haven't celebrated a birthday since the last time we talked, have we? How old are you now, bud?
10.
You look like you're about 30. Well, 32-year-old can't fit in there, but you look like Dad. I'm not sure how good Dad looked at your age, but I tell you, this stuff is just so much fun. You haven't raced in a while, though.
No,
How'd it feel out there tonight?
feels good.
Yeah, you had Ashton out there with you. What's your plans with this stuff in the future? I mean, it's finna be the off season. We gonna plan on doing this, or maybe that's something I talk to Mom and Dad about. I don't know.
I want to keep racing this.
Cool. Hey, you're dang good at it. I think if they have one of these mini wedge kart classes, Chris and Heather up north somewhere, maybe we get some sponsorship dollars, send him up there, see what he can do against some of these other guys. You can run with the best of them, can't you?
I don't know.
You don't know? Hey, you know what's funny is your dad always tells me that he's lucky, but he's one of the winningest drivers around. Keep that humble attitude, young man. What these folks instilled in you, man.
My mom, my dad, granny, pops, and sister.
Congratulations to you. They can't take this away from you. You're a Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship winner. Congratulations to you, Dustin.
Thank you.
Give it up for him, folks. Dustin Hennigan. Oh. Dean Raskell worked his way all the way up the fourth spot at one time in that race. And battle with son-in-law Ricky Burke Jr. The lights are going to go out. Foot through the full board for 33 of Graham. We're back underway. I like the view from here. Michael Knight trying to stick it in. There go 3 wide, look out. Woo. 85 of Whitehead going to go by the 96 of Knighton. Everybody splits the 33. He goes from the in-house to the out-house. All the 4 down the front straightaway. Dean Raskell going to take over second and stop the tire tracks of the 4. Doug Vick Jr. for the race lead. All the 2 hit it down the back straightaway. Borderline holds on the third. Whitehead in fourth. Side by side down the back straightaway with the 11 of Bowden on the 96 of the Nightmare, Michael Knighton. Off of 4, Vic Jr. still leads in 4. Bowden with a mistake there, off of turn number 4. Allows the 96 of Knighton to go by. Bowden going to fight back here in the 1 and 2. Here comes Justin Aubrey. Justin Whitehead, the 4-time Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship winner, began his season winning $2,500 down at the Smackdown at 85 Speedway in Ennis, Texas. Wants to end it on a big note here this weekend for $2,000. And James Thompson's Mob Mafia Outlaw Chassis Best Engine Power number 85, and he'll go to the inside for a second now. Dean Rasco, the Wiley veteran, he's the 1995 Louisiana State Dirt Track champion. And Rasco may have his hands full, but he'll smash the throttle. And he says, I like it, I love it, I want some more of it. What more do you have for me, Justin Whitehead? Whitehead says, I got some, and I'll throw it to the bottom in the 1 and 2. Oh my, that's a power move, folks. Wow. Say what you want, Justin Whitehead can wheel a race car. There's no doubt about it. This vantage point gives you a pretty good look of it. He'll now start the 4, Vic Jr. Vic Jr. to the 85, and here comes Dino. Dino says, please, 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 y'all continue to race hard right here, and I want to go right by Colt 45. And while the 85 is now hooked up and digging around the hub of the racetrack. Dick Sticks an 85 with the 4 Doug Vic Jr., who won a stellar race here last month over Josh Warren, holding the same exact line he held that night that he beat the 60X in. But Justin just so smooth and consistent right around the hub of the racetrack. Lap traffic nearly cost him there. And Vic Jr. going to power back to his outside with the white flag waving. You got a race brewing here in this one. They're still side by side for the race lead. Still side by side. Doug Vic Jr. going to be running off the exit of 2, headed down the back straightaway. Doug Vic Jr. may relinquish it. He'll power it to the outside. Vic Jr.'s going to get it. Off of 4, give the win. Note that Justin Whitehead. I thought Vic may power off the top side. It did not come to fruition. Nonetheless, race fans, Blanchard is going to be inside of row number 2 in the B7. TJ Evans behind him. Uncle Ricky Eagles outside of row number 3. Is that BJ Cook? Yeah, BJ Cook outside of row number 2. The lights are out. We're back underway. Woo! That was a close start. Close start there. The 29's threw it deep into the corner. He'll try to go to the inside of the 5 for the race lead. As they head off in the 3, Lopez going to lead the herd. Princeton, Louisiana's Paul Lopez in the orange 5. You can't call him Slopez because he is quick. Here comes the run for the Cook and Bordy Barton Glass 43J. BJ Cook says, I want a piece of the pie. He's got the ace of spades out. He'll throw his hat into the ring. And he says, I'm going to play her, and I'm going to make you sit down and take a seat, Paul Lopez. Bye-bye. Wow, what a power move for BJ Cook out of Mooring Sport. Contact here, mid-pack. 81 of Eagles and the 29 get together there off of corner number 4. Lopez not done yet with the Mooring Sport racer. BJ Cook for the race lead. Ricky Eagles is up to 3rd now. TJ Evans out of Kilgore, Texas, up to 4th. Freddie Blanchard trying to fight there with the 29. Shannon Parker, Scott Young, all mired at the tail, as well as John Parker in the 9, who finished 2nd in the first round of heats. A very stacked affair here in heat race number 2 for the factory stock, presented by Classic Auto Repair and Body. And Ingalls. I think Lopez may have a problem there for a few moments, as the 81 was just able to seemingly just march right by. And Lopez not done. He'll try the hub of the racetrack here. But not enough to get back around the 81 of Ricky Eagles, who now has his sights set on the 43J of BJ Cook for the race lead. The tick-tock goes the race clock. The center of the hourglass is ticking away. Ricky Eagles has been very, very impressive since hopping behind the wheel of the cockpit of this 81 laser race car chassis. This is now, I believe, his 13th factory stock total start his career since hopping into this thing mid-season. Your 1 and 2 cars sporting graphics very identical to one another. The checkered flag. How about it for Mooring Sports BJ Cook at 43J. Ricky Eagles takes 2nd. And a drag race to the line for 3rd. Woo. I don't know. I'm in position here. Fast good ass James Martin, the 2014 champion, on his bumper. Sorry, folks, it's hard to see at the moment, but I'll get you all of them. It's a log jam into 1 and 2. It's Tracy Corp there in the 10. The 34 JR, Ryan Burke. Ryan Burke is there. Oh, Ryan Burke down to the infield. Look out. And he nearly ended up in the Brian Shaver at a Cachetta, Louisiana, the 10. The D3 at the tail. That's David Edwards out of Natchitoches. Scotty Nichols is outside of 3, and Jody Prince in 11R. Oh my God! Boy, I tell you, it's wild right now. They're 3 wide down the back straightaway. There's real estate there, but who's going to give it? Off of 4, looking to lead lap 1. It goes to Bruce Daugherty. Bruce making his car wider than a 111 trailer right now on the 1 and 2, holding the 10 of Texarkana's Tracy Corbett Bay. Here comes the fast Kunas, and there's still 3 wide down the back straightaway here. Look at Jody Prince. Jody Prince just parted the sea, made it 3 wide there. Looking to get 2 for the price of 1. The Walmart special may be coming to him in the 11R. And I don't know what you guys think, but this racetrack is pretty dang racy right now, and I'll take it all day long. Martin going to look to capitalize here by the little bit of ball off the exit 2 for the 10 of Tracy Corp. Corp, though, use that outside line of the momentum underneath the hood of the advantage. And Jody Prince is taking no prisoners tonight. Sealy, Louisiana's Jody Prince driving the J&J Motorsports 11R up to 3rd now. Disposing of the 68 of Martin. And he's looking to now tell the Texarkana Ace to sit down and take a seat as well. As they're going to go side by side and make contact there off of. Whoa! Oh, Bruce Daugherty hard upside down. Hard crash. Bruce Daugherty upside down. James Martin punches the time clock, and he'll put his foot to work and hands off of 4. We are back underway. Here comes David Edwards. David Edwards, a multi-time top 5 finisher in the 5,000 KJ Classic at Gene Borders Architect Speedway. He'll go to the inside for the race lead. David Edwards, a versatile driver, also races limited modifies, has several limited wins down at Sabine Motor Speedway this season. Had a bobble there off the exit of quarter 4. Oh, and Frank Canizero got in there hot and heavy, and that was a nice save. Hard, close door-to-door racing there for the 2nd spot. Frank Canizero all over the D3 of David Edwards. James Martin trying to turn his luck around here for the final race of the season, as they go side by side for the race lead in the 1 and 2. The 68 of Martin nose to head by about a half of a cast whisker. They're going to still go side by side for the race lead down on the back straightaway off the exit of 2. As they hit on 3, the outside line momentum working to the advantage underneath the hood for the 68 of the Wascom Texan, James Martin. Martin willing it and doing it tonight. 2 laps to go. Nearly a dead heat at the line that time by. Edwards around the hub of the racetrack, hugging it and hugging it well. On the throttle, down the back straightaway as they approach turn number 3. And with a white flag in front of their face this time by. 68 leads by about a half of a car length with the D3 digging around the hub as well. Side by side that time by. Martin would have won the race that time. But who's going to lead the final lap? The one that counts the most. That extra half a point, so very valuable as well for passing points. Edwards gets the whole shot, or gets the advantage, and a shot in the shorts there, but it's going to be, Natchitoches, Louisiana's David Edwards. And Cane River Financial, number 45. The Marshall Missile, Derek Grigsby will start inside of row 3 alongside Billy Joe Bruchin out of Toledo, Texas, and Bossier City, Louisiana's Bo Perry in 24. The lights are out. Here we go. They're going to go at it side by side here for the race lead in the 1 and 2 T-Ray. Lets the 333 kind of step out from underneath him a little bit, but it doesn't hurt it. Oh, Grigsby's down on the infield nearly. save the car, but he's going to have to go all the way to the tail here and regroup. So we'll see what happens with the Marshall Missile. Let's see if Griggsy lives up to his moniker and missiles his way towards the front. He looks to get 2 for the price of 1 right here. He'll only get 1 in the form of the K8 of Ed Cox. And here comes Blanchard. Cowboy Richard Blanchard threw a fastball down there to the bottom of the turn. He'll roll to the inside of 7-Up. He says, I'll make 7-Up mine, and he takes it. 7-Up to third now. Maybe. He'll throw him over his shoulder and say, I'm ready for a challenge. He'll grab some cush there at the top side of the racetrack, and 7-Up's on the throttle, but he'll get disposed of anyway. And all of a sudden, here comes the gotcha chassis, number 30 of Billy Joe Bruchin out of East Texas. Billy Joe rolling. He's strolling. He set quick time in the factory stock portion of the Army Little Nationals and time trials. Oh, and Blanchard just drifted way up top of the racetrack. He's broke. Tough break for Cowboy Richard Blanchard. Or not. Skyrocket Modified that he won at the Dustin Duck Memorial over there at Kilgore 4 years ago. Raced that car for 2 years and then got back in factory stocks. He'll lead him off of 4. It's T. Ray Burkett. Here comes 7-Up. Blanchard to the inside. He's on the loud pedal, and here comes Bo Perry. Bo Perry with a brand new power plant underneath the hood of that number 24 machine after a stellar performance last week into the 13th annual Cajun Classic. Did not have the results to show for it despite making the A main event. Both said that he couldn't help but be a little bit disgusted leaving there, but he felt happy that he was able to show that he was a factor. And look at this, they try to go 3 wide there. David Roy trying to fit to the outside of the 45 of Blanchard. Blanchard then slammed the door shut. And here comes Bo Perry now. Boy, how about this Bo Perry? Has he stepped his game up or what? And here comes the Marshall 2 for the price of 1 now. And Blanchard. Tough break for Blanchard. Richard Blanchard loses wholesale spots. He's back on the gas now, but thought he may have had more than that, more troubles than that just a moment ago. I learned last weekend I never count out 45 ever again. Bo Perry up to second, but tick-tock goes the race clock. The hourglass is ticking away. He's going to run out of time. Barring a major catastrophe or a mechanical failure by the 333 in the final corner. The missile from Marshall. Griggsy all over the tail tank, and he'll fire it down on the inside. Here comes Griggsy to the inside for second. Not going to be enough, though. Bo Perry holds him off. Boy, Griggsy found some dig there. On the pole here. My fault, folks. Thought we were going 1 caution lap. It's going to be Chris Shaw on the pole. Mighty Mike Wills out of Texarkana behind him in the 38. Ronald Rollo Pilkington here in the 22. Chris Shaw leads. Darrell Edwards out of Gina, Louisiana, the sheet metal shop number 1D car in second. Brother David Edwards just had a stellar run. Darrell Edwards, who sits in second, is the 2011 Sabine Motor Speedway track champion. Mighty Mike Wells, he's the 2-time 67 Speedway track champion over in Texarkana. He'll go to the inside here for a second. They're 1 by 2 by 2. Off the exit of 2, headed on the back straightaway. Here comes Bossier City, Louisiana's Cody Myers in 55. Myers in 55, trying to rise to the occasion here as we stay clean and green. Chris Shaw driving one of the best races so far. At the tail end of this 2017 campaign. I mean, literally, you can throw a quilt right now over the top 5 cars. As they head into turn number 3 once again. Clicking off the laps quick, fast, and in a hurry here at the hill tonight. Shaw still leads off of 4 with Mighty Mike Wills stalking him. Mike Wills stalks his tire tracks. He'll try the hoe of the racetrack this time and hammer the throttle. He'll go to the inside for the race lead. Comes up a little bit short. The pulls just up to the wheel well. He'll claw, he'll scratch, he'll fight, he'll go to the race lead. He would have led at that time by literally a centimeter. Wells out of Texarkana. Going to take over the race lead. John on the central, hitting in there. Best in your powered outlaw chassis. Number 38. Mighty Mike is digging, and he's digging well. And Daryl Edwards trying to find his niche around the Boothill Speedway tonight in the sheet metal shop number 1D. Heels on the third respectively. Looking to hunt down Shaw here in the C1. So you got C1 and D1, or 1D, second and third. White flags out and a slip up there for Mike that last time by. Opens the door for Chris Shaw here on the final lap. Can Chris Shaw do anything with him? A slip up by Daryl Edwards. Opens the door for JoJo Wilhelm now for third. Wilhelm going to try to take that spot, and for the final time in the 34, coming to the checkers, Mighty Mike Wills going to look to hold off Chris Shaw, and he will. From Texarkana, Mighty Mike Wills takes heat race number 5 for the factory stocks. Here, when they're out here, it gets crazy. Texas. Ashton's a little bit older, but this young lady here, I believe, just has a knack to want to be successful in anything she competes in. So, first main event of the weekend here for the 45th running of the Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship. 10 years ago, it was rear-wheel drive, 4 cylinders. 10 years later, it's front-wheel drives. Ooh, a little bit of contact there. Bill Teague felt a little bit of pressure there from the 12-year-old Logan Griffin. Nothing intentional, just kind of drifted up the racetrack just a little bit. Makes some ever so slight contact. And then Chris Franks drives it in deep back to the inside of the 17 here off of turn number 4. They're going to go side by side down the front boulevard. They're side by side down the back straightaway. 1.5 laps to go. It's Black Cat Chris Franks from Texarkana and Bill Cornbread Teague from Ivan, Louisiana. Bill Teague trying to get his first ever 4-cylinder win. Trying to pinch the 18 down on one more trip around the speed plant. We'll head down and get a quick post-race interview with whoever the winner may be as they head down the back straightaway for the final time. Franks won here at Boothill just a few weeks ago. He'll drive it down to the hub of the racetrack. And a big push by Teague off of 4. Bill Teague is going to win it by about a half of a bumper at the flag stand of the 88. More time to catch on, and we get more drivers out here. You're going to see a lot more competitive races, all like what you saw out of the mini stocks in the early 2000s, and guys that made names for themselves that went on to have great success in this sport. It's been a little while since I've talked to Cornbread, and Cornbread, we got a little bit to talk about here, my friend.
I wasn't expecting this. I didn't have a monkey on it.
You didn't have the monkey. I'll tell you, we're gonna have to take that. We're gonna have to get that taken care of. But hey, race fans, for the folks who are here in the house, man, please give it up for this fella. We call him Cornbread. It's Bill Teague. He's gonna climb up out of the sunroof. Can you fit, Bill Teague?
That's the only way I can get out.
All right then. He says the only way he can get out. Well, Bill, I think anybody that they've seen you race a factory stock, a pro mod, or anything in your career, they know that you could really wheel a race car. You get to this 4-cylinder, it's a Prelude or a Accord real quick?
That's a Accord, Honda Accord.
Well, I tell you, Bill, if people know you can wheel a car, you get into this and have some fun. And if that wasn't fun, I don't know what was. From my vantage point, it looked like it was fun. But racing side by side like that, coming down to the wire, that's what you get behind the cockpit of one of these things for.
I'm out of breath, ain't I?
that old 4-cylinder wear you out there, Bill?
Man, that's harder than driving that Pro Mod.
Well, maybe it won't take a whole lot of breath for me to ask you this. I've always want to ask you, how did you get the nickname Cornbread?
I worked for a trucking company and walked in there one day, and he said, "Here comes that big corn-fed sucker." Man, hell of a race, dude. But he said, "Here comes that big corn-fed sucker," and next thing you know, everybody was calling me Cornbread, and it stuck.
That's what I said down the back straightaway. I said, "Here comes that big corn-fed sucker." No, it's not. But hey, I'll tell you, man, is it good to be back just in the sport, having a little bit of fun? It seems like these cars can be a lot of fun.
Oh, they're a lot of fun. Every time I turn around, something breaking on my Pro Mod and come out here in the heat race, and we had broke the gears. We're leading the heat last weekend and put some more gears in it, and now the axle slid out of the drive flange on the heat, and so hopefully we got it fixed. But it's great to be back in victory lane, even in my daughter's car. I built this for her. She lives in Dallas, and she comes in and races it. When she can't race it, I race it, and I don't like it sitting at the house if it's ready to go.
Kelsey, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Kelsey ought to be pretty fun to watch in it. If you don't mind me asking, because we're trying to get some more folks in this deal. I know you probably don't have an arm and a leg in this thing. With the roll cage and all, what you got in there?
$1,300.
That ain't bad at all.
I bought it. It was a car that was on the road, and I paid a little more for it because I wanted a Honda.
I could have used that, but no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there wasn't nothing wrong with the little wreck on the left front. That was it.
What does it mean to win at Boothill in case you don't get back here this week?
It's great. It's great.
How long has it been since you won here?
Oh, it's been a while.
I have to look at the history books. Congratulations to you, Bill. Anybody real quick you'd like to thank while we wrap this up?
Shoot, I'd like to thank everybody. Robbie Gibson put the cage in it. Gene Boulder always helps me anytime I need it. Don't really have any main sponsors. We do it all ourselves. I got 4 of these cars and Pro Mod. I know I'm forgetting something. My woman right there, Michelle, she stands behind me everything I do. Mark Miller, he helps me a lot. He pulls a car out here for me, and we don't have enough trucks and trailers to pull them all. So he helps me all the time. Says he'll help me. I know I'm forgetting somebody, but Aiden, he helps with the cars, but we do mainly ourselves. We don't have no sponsors, so we just do it ourselves. But we just have friends that help us out. Jonathan Maxwell.
Yeah.
Anytime I need something, I run down there and he'll help me. So, but it's great, man. It's great.
Do me a favor, tell Jonathan Maxwell to get his factory stock ready. We'll wrap this up.
He's got it ready, but he didn't want to bring it out here on the last night of the year and then have to redo it over the winter. But
hey, we may have spent a little bit extra time. We got the good out of it though, and we'll get out here at a good time. Congratulations to you, Bill. You deserve it, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
We'll go for 2 in a row tomorrow night. Don't count him out. Bill Cornbread T. Get your 4-cylinder main event win tonight here at the Hill. Lights are going out here, Debbie. I'm gonna catch up with you in a second, sister. The K1 of Stephen Gidger gonna start this up from the front row. The lights are out. We're underway. Gidger gonna lead him into turn number 1. This is a stacked affair here. Tidwell second. Here comes the Marshall missile. Derek Grigsby holds on to third as they head off into turn number 3. The Farmville Freight Train, Brandon Ball. Way up top where Grandpa keeps that good bourbon. Arkansas. Cliff Tupper Jr., the 2015 Louisiana State Dirt Track Champion. The missile from Marshall tried to thread the needle to the inside of the 18. Couldn't get the job done. T. Tidwell looking very good tonight. Derek Grigsby, fresh off the victory last Saturday at the 13th Annual Cajun Classic, limited modified portion of that event. Grigsby now being pressured by Brandon Ball. Down on the back straightaway, Tupper there within striking distance as well. As they roll through turns number 3 and off of turn number 4, Stephen Guidry looking to win both of his heat races tonight. He's on the first of a job to sweep both of his heats. As tick-tock goes the race clock. We continue on here on RaceOnTexas.com on demand here at the 45th running of the Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship. Speaking of Louisiana State Dirt Track champions, a pair of them right there trying to go door to door in the form of the 6'9" Grigsby. And the 23 at Tupper. Boy, Tupper's got some tenacity in that 23 tonight, running that thing with reckless abandon. Never have doubted if Cliff Tupper Jr. will flirt with disaster, put his car on the edge and brink of disaster. And tonight he is doing so. Disposed of the B-17 of the freight train, derailed him, and he's looking to get the 69 of the missile from Marshall. Grigsby says, no, not going to happen. I can hear you in my right rear peripheral hearing. White flag waits for Marshall, Louisiana, Stephen Guidry again. Guidry is gone with the win. Dirty Dancing out front in K1. His number should be not K1, but KO because he knocks the field out for the second time tonight. Stephen Guidry got a Marshall, gets it done. Second goes to the 18. Danny Roy Jeffro on the outside pole. Aaron Roy got to start near the tail of the field in the 35. Keep your eyes on him. And that Texarkana Emergency Center Presto Magic Clean JV Diesel number 35. Got his first ever win here at the Greenwood Oval, and it meant a great deal to him as he was ecstatic in victory lane here just a few months ago. They'll roll the hub here in the 1 and 2. Look to put some pressure on Griffin, who has the race lead still, being pressured by 68. Oh, whew, that was close. A pair of team cars nearly made some significant contact there. Look at this racetrack. There are 3 different lanes wide off the exit of corner number 4. They're 3 wide into 1 and 2. Still 3 wide off the exit of 2. James Griffin going to use that outside line to the advantage. They throw to his advantage in the 91. Craig Oaks won in that car earlier this year. Of course, mention, an unfortunate mention, but always a memory of our good friend Austin Wilkins, and remembering his father, Mr. Wayne Wilkins. I'll never forget that particular night that 91 went to victory lane here in one of the more stellar limited races I've seen at this track. And here comes Roy to the inside of 91 now. Living up to the moniker, he's rapid, he's bad, he's fast. Rapid Roy, Aaron Roy out of Red Lake, Texas, to the inside of James Griffin for the race lead. James Griffin been cutting his teeth, been getting around this Boothill Speedway here in Greenwood for years. But it's not going to be enough to hold back the advances of the 35 out of Red Lake, Texas of Aaron Roy. Rapid Roy, rapid fast tonight, baby. Guns a-blazing, throw the keys on the counter and check out on them. It's obvious there's 2 different lines. You can tell the 35 is working so well. His car's able to plant right around the hub of the racetrack, and he can throttle the car right back up where it kind of leans over on the right rear. The car is just so glued, and that's kind of a product of, hey, racing Jason Ingles, IRP race cars, and of course the dig sticks, and they play a factor as well. as it is a pair of IRPs out 1 and 2 as they come across the stripe to complete it. Checker flag in front of the face. A rapid Aaron Roy out of Red Lake, Texas Heat Race number 2 winner. Outside, it'll be Cody Tupper in the number 23. The former Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship winner, your track champion, Dylan Spear out of Marshall in 22. Magnum when lights are out, we're back underway. Keep your eyes on Dylan Spear in this one. Spear should be fun to watch in 22 mag. Ricky Ingles way up top that time. He went higher than Willie Nelson on the cross-country tour with Snoop Dogg riding shotgun. And Ingles don't really roll that way. No. Actually, he rolls that way anytime he can find the dig. And he likes it way up there. That's where my grandpa keeps the real good bourbon. So the driver of the RKT operating number 81 of Ricky Ingles out front of their 3 wide down the front straightaway here for the third, fourth, fifth spots. Here comes the 22 Magnum Fire and Bullets. No blinks for the 2017 Limited Modified Track Champion here in Greenwood, Louisiana for Dylan Spear out of Marshall, Texas. Spear now all over the back tail tank of the IRP number 23 of Cody Tupper. Cody Tupper won his first ever Limited Modified start back in July the 2nd of 2015 to be exact at the Arclotech Speedway, the night the Super Late Models were in town. So Tupper holds on to second, but setting a clinic out front, gone with the wind. He's throwing the keys on the counter. He's checking out of the Holiday Inn. He's already headed back to Longview, Texas for Ricky Ingles, the former Southern Non-Professional Racing Series late model champion. Diamond's off the corner. He's got dig down the straightaway in 81. They're not catching him unless they get a caution. A good old country tail whipping, taking the competition to the woodshed here for the Wiley veteran, now the 53-year-old, off of turn number 4. Ricky Ingles in 81 takes the white flag from flagman Keith Parker into 1. Here on round 2 of Limited Modified Heat Race number 3 here for the 45th running of the Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship here at the oldest dirt oval in the state of Louisiana since 1973. And here comes Dylan Spear out of Marshall, Texas. Spear going to fight it out with the Louisiana native. Off of 4, Spear, he's going to get it. He's going to steal it. He's got it. Dylan Spear going to take it. Thank you. I already gave you my look.
It's cold out here.
Yeah.
Pro-Mod Heat Race number 1, we turn them loose. So here's a driver who has his back against the wall. Speaking of Doug Vick Jr. out of Vivian, Louisiana, the red number 4, he'll get a big bite off the exit do, headed down the back straightaway with his sights set on the back spoiler of the 22 of Graham and Marshall. Doug Vick Jr., who was involved in an early race scuffle in the first heat of the Pro Mods in the first round, knows that he has to throw all aces on the table. 4, ready to receive a face full of checkered flag this next time by. The 5-time track champion of the multi-time champion here this year. He's won the factory stock championship and the pro mod. He'll win heat race number 2 in round number 2. Doug Vick Jr. from Vivian takes the win over Mark Laser race car factory stock. Yeah, of course, Washburn there to the Arclitect sheet metal welding number 27. Bill Teague on the 17. Wayne Barnes in 160. John Locke in X98. The 4 is Jeffrey Bechet out of Sarepta, Louisiana. Wayne Barnes on 160. The lights are out. They're underway. Heat race number 3 of the second round here for the pro mods. As Mike Washburn has a healthy advantage on the opening circuit. He'll lead off of 4 in 27. Keith Parker showing Mike Washburn only a few more laps to settle the score for him in the 27 as he is setting a blistering torrid pace around his home racetrack here in Greenwood tonight. Here in Pro Mod Heat Race number 3 of round number 2, presented by Doggett Equipment Services. 2 to go for Mike Washburn. Washburn could probably coast the victory from here, but he's still got one more quarter-mile trip around the speed plant to go. Good battle back here for the third spot between Barnes and Sarepta's Jeffrey Bechet. Our passing point system is being implemented. Always not going to be necessarily where you finish. You got to pass cars to accumulate points for where you finish. And the checkered flag in front of the face of the 27 of Mike Washburn with his hand pumped up out of the cage. John Locke with a stellar performance. And Jeffrey Bechet from So as the race night winds down, I believe this may be the final race. We may allow a few the competitors that are here. I can't speak for the track promoter or owner. They may get out there and hot lap some. I don't know. But nonetheless, we need all you diehard folks who are here tonight to bring about 5 or 6 or 10 more of your friends and neighbors with you tomorrow. It's going to be chilly, but it's going to be a perfect night for dirt track action. The racetrack is superb tonight. I don't think anybody can argue that. Not sure anybody in attendance could argue that the racetrack is absolutely great from top to bottom. As you can see, there's 3 different lanes there. Trent Humphrey holding on to the race lead over Benton, Louisiana's Josh Bockham in 25. Jason Beasley out of Vivian, Louisiana, are going to roll the hub off of 4 and 16. Back down the front straightaway off the exit. Here comes Bockham. Josh Bockham living up to his moniker. We call him the Benton Bullet, and well, he's firing them. Not everybody has to have missiles and rifles and cannons, but he does have a pretty strong bullet, that's for sure. And he'll fire another one, and he'll go to the race lead by about 3.5 car lengths down the back straightaway as they head into 3. As we approach halfway of this one. Halfway this time by. 4 in and 4 laps to go. For the Benton Bullet, Josh Bockham. Josh Bockham, who has 8 career limited modified wins here in his career. Has won here in a pro mod once. Don't give it to Bockham just yet, because Trent Humphrey has other plans. Trent Humphrey has plans to spoil the party for 25 tonight. One more quarter mile on this Friday night special for the opening night running of the 45th annual Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship. Trent Humphrey going to go to the inside of the 25 of the race lead off the exit of 2, headed down the back straightaway. Baucom with his foot through the firewall in the 3 for the final time, the final race of the night. They're going to drag race to the line. Humphrey has a big run around the hub of the racetrack, but Josh Baucom too much up top, and he'll get the win in 25. So a great race there to the finish of that one. At Keithville, Louisiana, the 5.5. That'll be Trent Humphrey with a stellar run. And taking the win out of Benton, Louisiana.